Welcome to Classless Bastards. We've got Nick Ginter here, and we're going to shove $10,000 up his ass right now.
That's right. And for every extra $1,000 after that, we're going to plant 1,000 trees in his honor at Arbor Hill Cemetery. But, yeah.
And God knows there's a lot of bodies there.
Goddamn right.
We'll start that process later.
Episode 7 is in the works. We are live on location. Not live, but we are on location at the old Kingsbury General Store. Once a deli for over a century, serving the Hudson Falls, Kingsbury, all of that relative area. Now an art studio, an event venue, the home of Ginter Electrical and Mechanical, not to be confused with Glens Falls Entertainment and Music.
Sorry, Brian. Stole it.
All run in part by the de facto patriarch, Nick Ginter.
Did you have the name first? Who actually had the name first?
So, technically, Brian, I didn't know this. I started my stuff up, my business and all this, like 3 or 4 years ago. And I got in with a bunch of guys. And long story short, I see an advertisement for Gem Fest, Glens Falls. I said, well, how the heck do I get involved with that? I'm Gem.
Gem.
Makes sense. Hi, Kat. We gotta go. Sorry, that's a nightmare, by the way.
No, hold on. We have a system for this. If at any point I just clap, that's like a cut.
Come back in.
Oh, my leg! Oh,
Oh,
God!
yeah, I hate when that happens.
Dude, that
I hate when that happens.
The invasion of the adorable cats. What cat was that, by the way?
That was the nightmare.
That was the nightmare? Is the cat's name Nightmare?
Yes. We call her Miss Mary.
Miss Mary. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yes. But the Nightmare. Official name on the birth certificate, Nightmare.
Is it Nightmare? Mary Nightmare. So you see an ad for Gem Fest.
So I see an ad for Gem Fest, and I'm like, how do I get in? It's kind of built in, Gem. So they introduced me to Brian. I ended up being a sponsor late in the year, and the first show that I was part of was a couple years ago, and it was a phenomenal thing.
Was that the first one at the Shirt Factory?
I believe it was.
That was an old time.
But I didn't know the scene. I didn't know anything. And they're a bunch of younger guys, so I didn't really keep up with any of it. But now I've caught up with these guys, and I'm like, hey, this is cool. I'm not a musician, but I love music. I'm not an artist, but I love art. My wife is an artist. I've got tons of reasons of why I want to be part of the whole scene, but I have no talent. So, long story short, I'm trying to do the best I can at a peripheral angle.
Right.
Like, I have no talent. I don't know what to do, but I want to help. So I walked up to Brian and I said, hey, Gem Fest, Gem, whatever, my business, what can I do?
Yeah.
So he got me in, and I've helped out the last couple of years, and I'm honored to help him out, man. Like Eric and the guys over at the Shirt Factory they're phenomenal. They help out. They're clutch when it comes to keeping track of everything. And Brian totally lucked out where he's got the ins with the bands and the people and the ability, and he does a great job putting it all together. And being part of Gem Fest for me is a personal goal, because I could say I did Gem Fest.
Yeah.
And on the other side of it, I know I'm just like in the background. It's not really mine.
But it's partially yours.
It's almost free advertising at that point.
It's not free.
They see Gem and they're like, I've heard of that.
Right.
I'm going to stop in there.
So the guy I used to work for a few years ago, his son called me up one day and he goes, hey, you're Gem, and you're doing this Gem Fest. How big are you that you're doing your own music festival?
Pretty big.
I said, well,
Fucking big.
I'm honest. I'm like, it wasn't really me. But it was too good not to be a part of. So that was kind of my first, hey, do you really think you're getting somewhere? Do you really think you're doing this? No. I'm just really good at riding the shirt tails of everybody else and being there when the good stuff happens. So I just keep doing it.
It seems like they've gotten a lot more people every year that they put it on, though.
This is the 7th or 8th year they've done it, and they're doing 2 nights this year. They're starting off at the Queensbury Hotel. They're moving on to the Shirt Factory and various other locales around town. Yeah. And they're getting the whole of downtown Glens Falls involved, which is huge. And that's something that I can really support, because I
Yeah, there's only a few other festivals that really do that. They get like a whole downtown involved, like Wingfest.
so
that I went to
long,
recently.
long story short, I'm a Falcons guy, right? Atlanta Falcons.
I'm sorry.
What
I
the
do-
fuck does this have to do with Jack?
We're getting there. We're getting there. I grew up in a small town called Northville, New York. Northville Falcons. I grew up. All my cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody was a Northville Falcon. Who do you root for when you're a kid? Falcons. Who's your football team? Falcons.
Well, we were the Cardinals growing up, but
Right.
we're not Cardinals fans.
Yeah.
Brett's a Steelers fan. I am I don't know. It depends on who's in the
Last
Super
you
Bowl.
checked, last you checked,
So
last
the-
you checked, he was a Patriots
So this
fan.
little tiny town in the middle of nowhere is literally, when they have an event, the entire town. It's a mile square. Glens Falls is only 2 miles square.
Yeah.
So when the
Well,
whole
Glens Falls proper.
when they have an event, the whole town came out. Trick or treat was every street all the time. You know what I mean? Like, everything was all right there. So for me, growing up, that's how it was. Glens Falls. Now I'm older. I'm bigger. I've moved away. I've seen different places. I've been to different things, and I come back, and Glens Falls is literally only this little tiny box. And to throw a Glens Falls party shouldn't be that hard. We used to do it in Northville.
I feel like Glens Falls, even with some of the problems that it has, it can be kind of homey when you have those kind of festivals, those town-wide festivals going on. You know, I feel like everybody's nice when you go out to those things, and it's always a good time.
We
so.
do the wing streets. We do the Taste of the North Country. We do the Larak.
Larak,
We do all
yeah.
these other things, and the whole town comes together. We shut down the center of town, and everybody's friendly, and
Yeah.
everybody's.
I mean, Glens Falls manages to shut down fucking State Route 9 for like 4 or 5 hours.
We have Hometown USA.
Yeah.
We're blessed with Hometown USA, and when we want to, and we want to have the community out, and we want to have a good time, and we have an event, you're right. We shut down New York State Route 9, and that's what Glens Falls is. That's what we have, that option. When we want to celebrate, we want to have a good time, we have all of our friends over, we can shut down.
that shit down.
Right, everybody's gonna be here. This is the biggest party you're ever gonna see. Lake George is great. Saratoga is great. Glens Falls is this little flower halfway in between that nobody knows about until we do it, and then everybody knows about it.
Right.
Right.
What adorable.
So we're stuck in the middle. So I've seen
Probably
Glens-
helps being close to Lake George too.
It helps that we are kind of like the last metro stop between Saratoga
Right.
and Lake George.
and we're just now getting our feet wet on what we could do, but it has always been Hometown USA. This
Yeah.
is where neighbors know neighbors, and people know each other, and it's still, you can shake hands with your neighbor every day. You know who
Yeah,
they
we
are,
grew up in Fort Ann. Yeah, we know that.
right? So,
Yeah,
exactly.
in order to shake
exactly.
hands with our neighbor, we had to.
Yeah,
like,
my grandma was my next door neighbor.
How many cities do you go to that have that kind of thing? Troy, Schenectady, even Saratoga at this
Arbor
point
Hill.
is. We're not going that far. We're not going that far. We're North Country,
I have no
people,
doubt.
bro. We still get up with the sun and go to bed at night when the cat tells to.
I don't really do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see my cat ghost. But
Today I did
he's
actually.
ready for that.
I woke up at 9 today.
But
Got
yeah,
out of bed at
so,
10:30.
So we have a great spot up here in Glens Falls, and the arts and the music and all the stuff that goes along with it is the last hidden gem. So to jump in with all of the stuff that's going on, and to get behind all these things, it's still a small town in my eyes, but we're on that step to be the next big place to be. We're the next Saratoga. We're
It's
the
definitely
next Lake
growing.
George, and it's nice to
It was-
be on the ground floor and welcome these new, whether it's musicians or artists or architecture or builder or whatever. The next step we take, I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was dwindling for a while, but it's definitely. I mean, there's definitely been some big money that's coming to Glens Falls too to do a lot of renovations. I mean, the buildings are beautiful all around the circle and all down the streets by the circle, and there's a lot of great businesses there too. It's just a matter of getting people to stop and hang out and enjoy it. you know?
I was fortunate. I got to do a project a couple years ago over next to the hospital. Added a bunch of apartments, and they really put a focus on downtown.
Yeah.
Restaurants and eateries and nightlife and the whole thing. And I'm old school, man. I remember South Street back in the '90s and early 2000s, and it was debauchery at its best. Caroline Street in Saratoga had nothing on us.
Well, we're even old enough to remember when, not Hot Shots, but not Double Vision.
Oh no.
Oh, what was
Daily Double.
Daily
Daily
Double.
Double.
When Daily Double shut down, and I mean, people went crazy. They destroyed the place.
So
people were like killing themselves in the fucking back alleys.
if you'd
They
have seen
become
it
officially homeless.
10 years before that, it
Officially
was. We had a place called the Madden Hotel that was exactly what it sounded like, and it was not a good thing. The bank finally tore it down and just built their own place because they didn't know what else to do with it.
So they turned it into a Glens Falls National Bank.
Pretty much.
Wow.
But that street of dreams, South Street, and it was crazy. It was great times, but it was the Wild Wild West. Once they kind of squashed that whole thing and they started revitalizing Glens Falls, they brought a fresh take on nightlife. They brought a fresh take on food and dining, and they've done a great job on facelifting Hometown USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the new restaurants have been
Dude,
great.
I can't wait for the boob job that's coming, you know. But either way, what I did want to acknowledge is that it is because of people like you, like you said. Like seeing you at Memorial Meltdown, dude, and helping out Dave Eamon and the crew. You even saying like you do not give a flying fuck about Jam, but you support the cause.
That's
And
it.
because of that, we wanted to thank you, and we thought the best way we could thank you, we actually have a present for you.
There you go.
We have a few of them, actually. We just want to make sure, yep, those are the ones. If you can go ahead and just check those out.
flip
and
that first
If you
one.
can read the titles of those. If you can read the titles
Okay.
of those, but not show.
Because you
the
guys are
audience.
fun all the time. I don't know if I can get the whole thing out.
You can just.
Oh no, you
just-
can read it.
Can I
You
fit?
can
I
say
can't.
it.
I can't fit this whole thing in my mouth.
Oh no.
That's what they all say.
10 hours of feet wet.
Getting her feet.
Getting her
wet.
feet wet.
USC sanctioned record
Well,
custodian.
just the titles. We don't need the legal.
Okay.
The copyright.
Annoying teen tramps with Iron Bull. I think that's great. Naughty amateur maverick. I don't know. Somehow that's supposed to say penis, but it does not.
God. No,
Oh,
you're,
wait,
you're
no,
missing.
you
That
missed
was
the
literally
title.
the best.
Oh,
That was, you
oh.
missed the best one. They're right
They
there.
have titles for a reason.
An almost virgin pussy. I've met many of them.
So yeah, we thought what better way to give thanks. We were. I don't.
Then you
feel
give
like
me some
almost
more
virgin is the
almost
one.
virgin pussy.
I feel like
some almost virgin.
almost
pussy.
virgin
I've
is the
gotten a
one.
lot of that, bro.
They say they're
you gotta
virgins,
get
but
in line.
they're really not.
I think my favorite
And we
one.
can all tell.
Finally ready first timers. Oh yeah.
That one sounded a little Epstein-y.
I want to know which one of you guys went to the library and checked all this out.
No.
No, I got these from discarded magazines that all happened to be piled up at a certain
There was
location.
probably a reason they were discarded. I noticed they're
I
not
think it's
open.
because most convenience stores.
I'll let
don't
you know the
sell them
magazines
anymore.
themselves weren't great, so I have to
The
assume
maga-
that
yeah.
the DVDs would be.
The articles,
about-
however, pretty fucking good.
Yeah, the articles were fantastic.
Journalist.
Hardest of
journalism.
hardcore Asians. That doesn't even, that's like not even original. It's not even original.
You thought you knew hardcore until you saw this.
The hardest of the hardest of the hardest of the hardest.
Come on, are we at least ending on a high note or a hard note?
New and fresh student amateur. Come on.
Oh, that
you-
one sounds
That
terrible.
that one.
I
yeah,
still
says
think
that.
Annoying Teen Tramps was the best one.
Okay, but can you take a second
feet
to look?
wet? How did you? How did
Getting
you
her
start with
feet wet. Getting her feet wet.
Getting her feet wet.
Like getting your feet wet to like the industry.
Bro,
Taking that first dive before their fist makes the first dive into.
I'm a plumber. I get my feet
I'm
all
a
the
plumber,
time.
of course you are.
Of
But,
course you are. Yeah, you know
get-
something about laying pipe.
Getting feet wet was a weird thing. A couple years ago, we met Dave Eamon, and we met the guys up at
God, you
fucking-
tied it in. Fuck off.
we met the guys up in Lake George, and I got my wife's feet wet with her artwork, and now she's doing
Don't
her
tell
thing
me
up in
she's
Lake
on
George.
this DVD we just played.
No, she was the
What is
she
going on?
retired after the amateur.
Oh, thank
one.
God.
But
Right after the almost virgin pussy.
meeting those guys got me to meet up with Frankie and with Brett and with Nick and
we were almost
us to here.
almost virgins to the game of music.
you were
production.
almost virgins. See, it all ties back
As close
in.
as you can get without actually being a virgin.
Dude, seriously. How many of these did we get? A lot.
More than enough.
8 or 10.
And now, I mean, we went
There's
from
decades.
Do you even
of
have a
almost
DVD
virgin.
player anymore?
No.
I know you got like a PS5 or something.
I got a
No.
PS5.
No. Yeah, Nick
But
does.
it'll play Blu-rays. It'll play
Yeah,
Dude, these
oh,
are
really?
probably
It won't
still
play
in
DVD.
But these are
No,
probably
it
still.
should. I bet it'll play that. I don't know for sure.
Nope.
These are
Really?
probably still in
My
standard
PS4 won't play a
definition.
DVD. I'm so upset. I
Well,
have
your
a Army.
PS4 is definitely supposed to play one. Something's wrong with your PS4
only
though.
plays Blu-rays.
It only.
The 3 will play it.
No
The
way.
4 won't.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you,
Maybe,
man. All
maybe
this,
you're right.
I don't know.
So okay, here's
That's
another
pretty
here's
good
another
for
cool
asking the good
story.
questions.
About 15 years ago, I sold every single compact disc, cassette tape, phonograph, every piece of physical media. I swear to God.
Carry your
I
pick.
sold all of
Everything
my
I had.
photographs.
I had, dude, I swear to God, I had 45s. Anyway, everything. Sold every one of them. And they're like, why? It's because I've already digitized it all. It's all on my computer, and I'll never need a physical copy
You
again.
get everything instantly all the
15
time.
years ago, I had, when the iPod first came out, everybody went digital. There was another thing called a mini disc, and it was an analog digital recorder. It was like a
Use
mini
a disc
CD
like that big.
in a little hard plastic shell.
Yeah, it's the
Right?
same thing that the PSP used.
Yeah.
Similar,
or
similar,
they called them
very
UMDs.
similar. Yes, very
Yeah.
similar.
Universal mini discs.
Yeah.
So I have 500 of them upstairs with 8+ hours a piece of music on them, analog recorded onto a digital machine. It all went south. It's all gone. It's all iPods. It's all MP3s. It's all streaming. It's all
Man, now
right?
everything's streaming.
So 15 years ago, I sold everything I had of physical media. Gone. Now, today, you can't play the things. If you had a cassette tape, you couldn't play it. If you had a fucking record, you couldn't play it. If you had a CD, you couldn't play it. You can barely play a DVD. Maybe
right, like
could
you
play-
said, can't put a
Right.
DVD in a PS4.
Right.
That's crazy. I didn't.
I lost all of this music I grew up with. All of these things I had to store my music on. I had drawers of cassette tapes when I was a teenager.
Right.
I mean, like dresser drawers. I could fill this thing 3 times with drawers of cassette tapes, and the lyrics and the
Well,
album
because
art
I think
and the whole
think
thing.
of how little amount of media you could put on that.
Right, exactly.
Or
90
I
minutes
should
was
say
a lot.
audio, but
80, 90 minutes, you're topped out.
right.
But now you can take a SD card the size of your thumb, put 8 hours on there, 12 hours on there.
As many as you want. Yeah.
I don't,
I mean,
I don't need a file
you
cabinet
could get.
anymore.
I'm pretty sure you can get terabyte or multiple terabyte, like flash drives, basically.
At least on your thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went from having a giant, I mean, I alphabetized it. I had stacks of CDs and aisles of fucking cassette tapes and rows of albums, and it all just went away. And it got to the point where what do you do with it?
I mean, it's
How many-
hard to tell if certain things will come back into value or not. So it's like how much.
How many
I mean, you
times
want to
can
store
you
it.
buy Dark Side of the Moon before they?
I could buy Dark Side of the Moon.
Before they finally put it on YouTube and you can watch the whole thing for free.
I'd buy it at least 10 times. Right? If you had 10 copies, in front.
I'm defeated. I can't buy it anymore.
Oh, damn it, Cat.
I could type
That's a
it into my
decent-
search browser.
That's
and
so
I can
much
have
bad
the thing.
luck that we've gotten
Dude, yeah.
just during this one.
Nightmare. Nightmare.
Oh, come here.
But
Well, speaking of nightmares, I just realized we never forgot to thank our corporate overlords. So let's give a quick thank you.
dude,
to
I
our
told you it
friends.
was 3621.
It was, yeah, yeah. In Vegas, I was fucked. I was very fucked up. After, oh god,
She
Damn
did it again.
Damn it, Cat.
She's here for you.
Dude, we're getting in a car accident on the way home, and it might not be my fault. So yeah, either way, if you need any custom apparel, you should get a hold of our friends at Altered Apparel. That's our friend Josh Green, the one whose wedding we just went to in Vegas. If you need T-shirts, coffee mugs, he's making coasters for us. If you want to celebrate your uncle going 1 year sober, if you want to create, like, I don't know, a tablecloth of like rediscovering your aunt after she like ran away from home 20 years ago. Whatever you need.
He
Josh
does billboards. He does
Showed up
billboards.
out
He
of the
does
woods.
vinyl
maybe like Lovely
signs. He
Bones
does.
type shit, I don't know.
That would be something you would need to make a tablecloth for.
He has outfitted
And
me
Josh
with everything
Green would
I've
be the
got. My
perfect
shirts,
person
my
to contact.
sweatshirts, my pens, my pencils, my trailer lettering. He's done
For your business,
anything
right?
and everything for my business. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And he's been a good guy. Every time I've asked him for anything, he's come through top notch, top quality. Love the guy.
Hell yeah. So if you want to make him a part of your business's plans for custom design, give him a call at 518-361-3621. That's 518-361-3621. I've gone 3 days without a cigarette, and I really want one of those full flavor.
They are.
Fuck.
Brett, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm having one.
I'm giving you the kitty.
Yeah, but the one
kitty
that
smiles
means your
behind
3
you.
days is gone as soon as you
This-
light it.
We're not going to release this
It's
for
all
like
over.
a week. It'll be 10 days at that point. It'll be fine.
Oh,
I'm a
Frankie
bad.
would be
I am
so
a bad
disappointed.
influence. Hi, I'm
I
Nick.
wanted
I'm a bad
to
influence.
smoke one cigarette on air. That's
Well,
it.
I'm going to smoke one on it.
Nick, join us. Smoke a cigarette on air.
In my
Do
little,
it.
in my little
If I can
albino,
can I
my
have a
little,
cigarette?
absolutely, my little albino kitty cat ashtray. There's nothing.
I
to
mean,
do
I
with
have no
the whole
obligation to quit nicotine, but so I'll.
So I started when our friend slash I call him my boss, even though we act like we're all equals. We're not. Without Frankie, there's no Mirth Films. But Frankie went to a wedding in Colorado a week ago,
I
and
saw some
decided
pictures, yeah.
once he hit dirty 30, he was done with vaping.
Oh.
So instead, he got fucking hammered and was like smoking like Marbs, and he's like, I feel like shit.
Yep, that will happen.
No more vaping, no more tobacco, no nicotine whatsoever. I was like, you know what? I'm going to join you. I had just bought 3 cartons of cigarettes from the reservation. I sold 2 of them. And I was like, once I'm done with those packs, the packs I still have, I'm done. But then I did want to have one cigarette on there. And I was going to save one for this shoot. And I forgot.
So,
See, my problem with that is the no nicotine. I'm fine with the no tobacco, no vape, but the nicotine is.
Well,
Nicotine in itself is
isn't
a
bad.
is a positive.
Yeah,
it can,
like,
it can
so-
help you out a lot.
So I think the no nicotine part is not. I don't think that's official. I think because I've been thinking about trying those Zyn pouches.
I've tried those. I used to do them while I was lifeguarding, so I didn't have to spit, and I didn't have to go and smoke cigarettes, so I could just throw like 2 or 3 of those in my mouth,
Yeah.
and then
By
they're,
the way,
they're not bad.
By the way, taking this moment just to say, granted, it's been probably over a year since the official deconstruction began, but Water Slide World,
Number 1 in family fun.
wild you bet.
could have been.
Dude, I was in the latest commercial for them. The last year I was there, it was like 2013 or 2014. They shot a commercial with us there.
So who? Now I know it's because one of the owners
So
passed.
he's bad luck, is what he's saying. They put him in a video.
Dude, Gary died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Gary
So
died.
so
that's
so
next
it's Don
one.
and Don and Gary I can't remember
Kablooey?
their Kablowski or something. It was some kind of
That's
strange last name, but very, very nice people. Gary was very reserved. Don
sorry,
was
Mrs.
Don was
Kablooey.
outgoing and stern, but fair and very nice. With as long as you were doing like things the way they wanted you to do them, then she was super nice.
In
But
honor-
yeah, it was like 2 or 3 years after I left there. Gary passed away. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Were they older?
Yeah, Dawn had to be in their mid 60s, maybe late 60s when I was there.
Had they opened that together, or did they take it open?
I don't know that actually. I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know. But
But
I
it had
will
been
say-
open. It was there were concrete water slides. I mean, it had been there for I think 40, 50
the
years. Something like
smoothest
that.
material
I know it's
in the water park industry. Concrete water slides.
Dude,
I know it's a heartbreak because Lake George had that place every summer,
Yeah.
and everybody came to hang out, and it was the biggest kick in the pants when they first were like, oh, we're not going to do it this year, we're not going to do it that year, and now they finally sold the place, and
To skim
Dude,
her
it
horn.
was-
I know it's
Honestly,
going to become a condo or some stupid thing, and
It was pretty expensive to go.
that was
in
a
there. It
that
was like as
literally
much
was a
as the
jewel-
Great Escape when
that
I
was
was
a
there.
jewel
Yeah.
in the Adirondacks. That was
because it was low. Because
It was great for
great.
foreigners.
all right. Well,
And by that I mean people not
Tourists.
from New York.
we all
Tourists.
grew up here.
Tourists.
We've all been to
Foreigners
the Great
of New
Escape.
York.
When we went to school, we went to the Great Escape. We went to this one. We went to that one, and we all kind of see past the facade. It's a good time. You can have a good time at any of these resorts, at any place. But you live here long enough that you see past the facade. You see the chip and paint. You see the things that are a little off.
But it's not-
But
It's
we
like-
still-
it's like when
but
we went
still
to
have-
Vegas.
But we still have a great
Yeah.
time. Bro, I lived in Vegas for 5 years. Let's not talk about chip and paint in Vegas. I'm not gonna go there.
I'm just saying, you
I've
see
seen
through that
the
facade
dark, ugly
quick.
underbelly. We're not
There
doing
are
that.
people actually chipping apart in
Yeah.
real time. Their paint is the last thing they're worried
Yeah. But Lake George and Saratoga and all these things, and we do our best every year to touch them up and kiss them and make them pretty. The world comes and they love it and they have a great time. But we're the ones that live here every day and look at them, and we see the ugly, we see the flaws, we see the things, and
But that's why we have to be the people to fix it.
that's why we have to create something that isn't what they come to see. We have to give them something new. Everybody goes here. Why? Because everybody's always come here.
Right. Everybody goes to
Let's-
Saratoga for
let's-
the racetrack.
Let's
Everybody
give them
goes to
something new.
Lake
Let's
George
give
for
them
the,
for the
let's,
lake.
let's give them
For
a
the lake,
new
yeah.
Glens Falls.
Which-
Let's give them a new.
By the way, Lake George is rated #1 lake in the country.
In the country.
Yeah.
Like for cleanliness, for like tour, like
hands
for,
down, deserves
for a
it.
tourist
Hands down.
attraction.
Hands down.
And
Look-
definitely, it's the #1 Lake George in America.
It
At
has
least
to
two,
be.
there's two of them.
But they have.
What does the
they
other
have-
one look like?
They have
If you can tell me, what state is the other Lake George in?
Georgia,
what is
No.
California?
No. Where do you keep going? Till
Wisconsin,
Keep going.
Screw you,
Keep
Trebek.
going.
Michigan.
Keep going. Keep going.
Tennessee,
Keep going.
Kentucky,
Your
But-
mother told me
Illinois.
last
I'll,
night, Trebek.
once you say it, I'll.
North
Idaho.
Dakota, South Dakota, West Virginia,
Oregon,
East Virginia,
Washington, East Virginia,
Still wait.
New Hampshire,
Still wait.
Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine, Vermont,
Arkansas,
Florida.
Florida.
Nice.
Florida.
You did it. You only named half the fucking states.
Probably
He
more.
named more than me. It's his fault. He did
It's
it.
okay. But yeah.
I basically
But no,
had a
Lake George-
mental map in my head, and it was like every time I would name one, it would like light up.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
Idaho,
okay, I already saw
Indiana.
that.
But
Illinois,
that's
yeah.
what makes. But that's what makes
Montana.
Lake George. There's a lot to love about Lake George. Like, let's be real. For
It's a gem. It truly is
like
a gem.
there's no shortage of like naturey shit. Like there's hikes out the wazoo. It's a great as a city during the summertime. It's a great. Can't even call it a city. A village.
not a
It's a
city.
great village to walk around in.
True.
It's not a tourist trap as much as like other.
I would agree. I mean, there's
My
same as everywhere else. There's a couple of
There
those
are
stores
tourist
that are
destinations.
like the
So-
I love New York kind of shit. I mean, that's
Honestly,
kind of
dude.
My biggest
Like,
opinion of Lake George is it had been great for 100+ years. Summer vacation grew. Lake George has not grown. They don't have room to grow.
I mean,
well, they got
what-
that new
what the-
Marriott, but then didn't it catch on fire?
It's not even the people. It's just the things, the summer things,
Yeah.
the things that we
well,
do
because
up
you have
here.
because you are
The
working with like
steamboats and the-
literally limited geography.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I just think that if they could, if somehow we had a new thing, whether it was music, whether it was, the
But, I mean,
Adirondack
I mean,
Music
they do have-
Festival,
they have
or
the
whether it was-
amphitheater.
They
there.
have the amphitheater. They have Aimfest, obviously, as you know,
Right.
is going to be fucking crazy.
But I
Did
think
you
that's
see-
where I think that, so we've had the Americade, we've had the cars, we've had the trucks, we've had the fire trucks, we've had
Yeah.
all the things that people bring. Everything is already
Is there not a
kinda
music
at,
festival
kind
there?
of at
There's-
capacity.
Lake George has
But the music
three
festivals
music
we have
three
now
big music festivals.
are bringing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
bigger and better people
Yeah,
and bringing bigger and bigger
like
crowds.
we're
So you think
getting
we just
we're
need
getting
more?
national
I
acts.
think we need more recognition. We need a little more reach to let people know what we're doing. I don't know how that translates. Maybe a little.
I feel like they
broader
advertise-
advertising.
I feel like
yeah.
they advertise Lake George things pretty well on like
Yeah.
Facebook and
But
stuff like
really,
that,
what I think I think we need
at least for me, but
we
I
need to
follow it.
broadcast to a group that isn't, I guess for lack of a better word, isn't just in driving distance.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because Lake George, to a lot of people already, like, is a destination venue. Like,
We need an influencer.
That's it.
We need Mr. Beast. I buried $1 million in Lake George, and the first person to find it gets to keep it.
Dude, have you ever watched Korean NPC on YouTube?
No.
He puts up a bunch of shorts, and like for the longest time he kept saying like, Mr. Beast collab with me, Mr. Beast collab with me at the end of his videos. He'd do like $1 or mystery gift, and he would do that with people.
Yeah.
But Mr. Beast collabed with him. He got to that, and his viewership skyrocketed.
Of course.
All right. So on the count of
Give me
three,
I'm not
5
saying
minutes
that-
with Joe
Mr.
Rogan.
Beast collab.
I want 5 minutes with Joe Rogan. Is all I ask.
I will.
I think
beg.
we have a slightly better chance of
No.
getting Mr. Beast than Joe Rogan.
Well,
Oh, I would say so.
cheers
Yeah.
to that.
to Mr. Beast. So Jimmy fucking Donaldson gave up a baseball career to become a content creator.
I think he got injured. Well, and also he has Crohn's.
Yeah. I mean, so does Pete Davidson, at least in The King of Staten Island.
Pete Davidson's my hero. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right.
All right.
He used to be Charlie Sheen, but
Okay, well that explains it. That
That's another
explains
story.
why it's now Pete Davidson.
God, so who was it before Charlie Sheen? Hunter S. Thompson?
Yeah.
pretty close.
Winston Churchill.
And before that, Sigmund Freud.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
dark.
that fucking
Yeah, wow, you had to go
Oh,
there.
man.
Yeah.
There
Wow.
it is.
I was
So
only born during Carter. Leave me alone.
Jamaica, the peanut farmer.
The peanut farmer.
So you spent, how long were you in Vegas for? How long did you live in Vegas?
Just shy of 5 years.
So what made you want to move out that way in the first place? Because you're from here.
Oh yeah.
You are a Northville lad.
I was born in Northville. I grew up over in Sacandaga. I moved over into South Glens Falls. Went to school there my whole life. Graduated Bulldog. And 97, got out of school. Started playing around in the mills and the work and the whatever. And I did pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I had a pretty good thing going on. I was a pretty smart kid. I had a lot of avenues. And then I was 21.
Yeah.
And all
And
that
I
change.
I fell in love with a girl that I had no business falling in love with. And things went south. She went home to Las Vegas, which is where she was actually from. And a few months later, I tucked my tail between my legs and I went to Las Vegas. And I spent 5 years out there after a few months figuring out that, yeah, she was as toxic now as she was then. But now I'm in Vegas and I'm already here, so I might as well make the best of it. And it turned into a
It
long
was so fun.
5 years after that.
I don't know. At least when we went, it was
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. 4 days was great. I don't know how I'd do with 5 years.
So the best part about Las Vegas is not what you see on TV.
Well, or
It's
not
literal-
what's on the strip. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's literally
Or these strips.
a couple of miles away on this random corner in this random bar with a pool fucking hall next door, and like there's a flower place, like I'll sell you a bouquet at the corner.
Oh,
Little strip
different
malls.
kind of flower place.
Random little freaking places. Every corner had another group of them.
Right.
There was like a McDonald's, a Wendy's, a Burger King, and a Arby's at every corner. And behind them was a gas
Like
station.
on the four corners, on
Every
every corner.
corner.
That could be disorienting. You'd be
Yes.
like, what fucking block am I on?
Jesus
And
Christ.
It's the same four restaurants on every.
So behind that was the same 4 gas stations.
Oh,
Behind
God.
that was the
That wasn't
same,
even any
right?
better.
But it was like you knew which corner you were on because Arby's and McDonald's are on that corner.
But
But
if
the
you pass-
7-Eleven and the fucking
If
Sunoco.
you pass the 7-Eleven by the McDonald's, you went too far.
Right.
But the
That's-
7-Eleven
By
by
the
the Arby's is fine.
But so
keep going.
So a block out there was like 2 miles long. So you go up 1 block, and there's 3 side streets into 3 different little housing developments, and it's just everybody's packed everywhere,
Who hurt you?
right? So it was so weird because it was this literally like the same over and over. You drive through downtown Glens Falls, you get to McDonald Street where the little Stewart's is, and it would be like having Burger King and the Civic Center all over again.
Yeah, that's why. How do you not go crazy
and
and
then,
get
you,
so lost?
exactly.
Like
How do you know where the fuck you are, right? The whole place is laid out in a grid.
I think I'd curl up in a ball and
Yeah.
cry on the side of the, like maybe not completely on the sidewalk, like right near the gutter where the water drains.
It was
I know it won't fill up too much.
1,000% aggravating trying to figure out where you were because it all looked the same.
Right. That's. It's
So
this,
then why
I feel like
why have a home there when you could just make home?
Wait, is it like
whatever.
Inception? Like you go to the next intersection and you're back at the same intersection.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, at some point you're just like screaming out to
Dude,
the
I
world
swear-
and
I
no
swear
one is
to God.
listening to you.
I swear to God, I used to walk into a 7-Eleven and get a soda, walk out the street, go down a block or two, fucking
Go
stop
to
at the next
7-Eleven,
7-Eleven, get a soda, and it was the same girl, same name tag, same
What?
accent, same. I swear to God, I was in the Matrix.
Come to
It
realize
was-
you actually never left 7-Eleven.
Yes, yes. It was a hallucination. The last
You just
3
did a
miles
circle around
just
the
didn't
parking lot
happen.
and walk back in.
Man,
It was the weirdest thing, dude. It was the
that
weirdest
sounds.
thing.
Yeah, that.
And for
that
5
sounds-
years, it was like living in a Hunter S. Thompson freaking story. It really
Man.
was. It was everything I did. It was like I've already done this. Oh wait, I got to do it again. Oh
Okay.
wait, I know how this ends. Let me check, please.
How many?
Can I go now?
How many
Yeah.
times were you late for work because you had to explain? Yeah, I went 3 McDonald's due north instead of 2 McDonald's due north, and I lost my way.
So not so much getting to work late, but coming home late.
Yeah. Well,
So-
when you don't know where you are and you're fucked up. Like it might-
I used to get out of work at whatever 10, 11 o'clock. The last bus ran through at like 11:15. So if I didn't have my shit together and out there waiting by 11:15, I got missed. And it was a 5 fucking mile walk home.
Yikes.
Yep. And I would get halfway home and the same bus driver
Yeah, that's
would
like
drive
an hour
by
and a
me.
half at least.
The same bus driver would pass me halfway home and be like, "Oh, I didn't see you. I came back looking for you." Because they knew
Oh,
that,
and they'd
that was
come
my
and they'd
thing.
bring you back?
Aw.
Like, I didn't see you.
That's so communal.
It was actually
Did they bring you back though? Did they pick you up and bring you
back to where. Yeah, so
the south?
everything in Vegas is north and south, east and west. The whole place is grid.
Yep.
So you get a bus pass or you buy a ticket, and it's good for one transfer. So if you know how many blocks up and how many blocks over, you just take the one transfer. 3 up, 7 over, 10 up, 2 over, whatever. You get one transfer. Or you get a pass and they let you get on wherever you want. So if you use it every day, getting back and forth to work, they get to know you. And this guy had like the worst route in town. I'm not even lying. Decatur and Sunset, it was bad.
That's
So
pretty late.
end of the night, he had to drive through the industrial park where all the places we shall not name that they swear are in Vegas, but nobody will tell you about. They're there. He would have to do the
Oh,
loop
the mole
through
people?
and come back out. And on his way back out, I still wasn't there. But he hasn't got a guy on his whole bus. So he runs all the way back to where he knows I get off and then did a U-turn and caught me halfway home
Yep.
because he knew I should have been on that bus. And that was the kind of people I dealt with out there.
Yeah, you don't
But
find
off,
that a lot.
Off the strip is so much better than on the strip.
That's
There's
what,
a real thing out there, but again, it's a mirror. Every block, everything is. But when you get in and you get your people out there, it's a community just like we have here in town.
that's what
You
all
just
the
have to find
locals
it,
there told
you
us.
know?
Basically, all the locals there told us that they're like it's a completely different world off of the strip, and like they're like it's a nice place to live. It's not
great.
super
It was
expensive. Like one of our Uber drivers said he was paying like less than or right around $1,000 a month for somewhere right on or just off the strip, like one street over off the strip, and he was just Ubering all the time, and that's how he made his living.
So I had a place that was probably 3 or 4 miles south of the strip. Take the strip, keep going down, hang a left, we're right there in the corner. And it was 5 minutes to get to anywhere you want to go.
Right.
And it was 3 bedrooms, 4 parking spaces, covered garage. They paid for the trash, the power, everything else. 2003. It was like $1,300 a month.
Dude, that's
Everything included
2003.
in 2003 for a giant 3-bedroom house.
That's
We
like
had a- we had a
that's like
pool.
$2,500 a
We
month
had,
now. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, three of us were working at a gas station. Come on.
I mean, way back.
I came
in the
from
day,
New York.
Way back in the day,
I
they used
paid
to have
$800 a month for a closet with a toilet in fucking Glens Falls.
back
Really?
in the day. You used to be able to have
I got a
one man
pool?
work a 40-hour week job, and pay for his family, pay for his house, pay for.
Well,
I mean,
that-
Cowboy
if you-
talks
if you
about
get
how
the
his
right
mortgage
man.
was like $100 or $400 a month, something
Wow.
like that.
But
And
it-
he said when his father bought a house, it was like $100 a month for his mortgage.
So the craziest story I've got about housing Las Vegas. I had an apartment early on. I was only there a couple months. It was a 3-bedroom apartment upstairs, corner, brand new units, everything. There's a concrete wall on the edge of the driveway, nothing. Desert beyond it. I lived there for about a year, moved out. A year or so goes by, I got a friend of mine, got a new apartment, he's a roommate. I go over, it's that same apartment. Sure, yeah. I love this place, it's great. I know the neighbors. I move in, spend like 2 years there. And that time they built up like another 1 or 2 set of condos on the other side of that wall. Alright, move out. A year or so goes by, you get a call. Hey, I got a room. Same freaking apartment. I lived in that same unit 3 times in like 5 years. Completely separate times, completely different people. I had the same bedroom every time.
Oh wow! Set it up the same way.
Same way. I had a 50-gallon fish tank that sat against the wall. I had
In the same spot?
In the same spot. 3 times. I lived there like 3.5 years
Dude, man,
total.
just imagine if you could get back all that time that you spent moving from one place.
Right, right.
From one place.
Well, it was weird.
back.
And think about it.
So-
That's got to be a day moving each time. And if you're out in, I mean, that's
So
like 6.
in
That's
Vegas-
a week of time you spent. You
in
could have
Ve-
just stayed there.
Exactly. In Vegas, they give you like a 6-month or a year-long lease.
I got you.
And then when your year's up, the next guy up the road offers you 1 month free if you sign your lease. So it kind of behooves you to skip a $1,500 payment to
Yeah, I
move
mean-
next door.
You're getting a month for the cost of a week, I guess. Well, no, a week in total through all of them.
But it's
So,
not bad. You're
a
only,
month for the cost of a day.
so
at
it
that
was
point.
nothing to jump back and forth between
Yeah.
these little apartments every 6 months, a year,
It
whatever.
was worth it, yeah.
But to get the same damn one 3 times in 5 years,
Yeah, what are the odds of that?
what are the odds of that?
Apparently pretty fucking good.
Yes. I mean, I haven't tried it.
1035
But-
10,000 South Maryland Parkway. I swear to God.
1035 10,000 Maryland Parkway.
10,000 South Maryland Parkway.
Wow. I've never.
I wonder
heard
if
of
it's up
such
for
big
rent right
numbers
now.
and,
You know how
Ten-
badly that makes
the
as soon as we're
the
done with this, I'm
apartment-
going to check and see if that's up
Look
for
it
rent.
up. 10,000 South Maryland Parkway.
Well, I'll do it after some.
It was the
Oh,
address
yeah.
of the complex. 1035 was the apartment. But if you look at the whatever southwestest most spot, that was me. I had a guy came in,
Southwestmost spot on Google Maps. It just says Nick Ginter.
yeah. I had a
I'm
guy
like,
come around.
understand.
I had a guy come around drunk around the corner one night. Cops were chasing him, and he fishtails it. And he took out his back of his truck, took out like 4 cars on this end, and the road goes this way. And he hit like 2 more cars, and bopped and hit 2 more cars, and came over and hit 2 more cars,
just ping ponging
And
his way through his
and missed
high-speed
mine.
chase.
I swear to God, I get the cops at my door, pounding the door down. Who owns what? Who owns this? I go out, my car's sitting there completely unscathed.
You're like, thank God.
My roommate has a Mazda Miata, and that thing is destroyed, gone.
Well, and the problem with that is, I bet you he had a ton of work into it. And I know some people that'll put work into cars like that, and then they won't get the value out of it from their insurance because they don't know.
It was a jacked up third-hand car. We literally had a flip
Oh, the
switch
tires
and
were already
a
off
push
it.
button to start it. It was one of them cars. It looked like something out of Vermont, bro. It really did. Like, the body hasn't fallen off yet, but I could
Held
start
together
it.
with duct tape.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what.
So when it got
anytime
smoked,
somebody-
it was kind of okay.
Anytime
But-
somebody tries to sell you some piece of shit thing on Craigslist, they're like, "It's okay, you can get it inspected in Vermont. Don't worry about it."
Yeah,
and
no.
I'm like, "Oh, that sounds a
No.
little shady to me." You know, I live in New York, right? And you live in New York also.
Yeah.
So you're saying I
you
can't
can get a
it
title
inspected?
anytime you want. Just register it there first.
Yeah, like I don't have any papers for it, but you can get it. I
Yep.
promise, you can get it.
Wonder how many different people he sold that car to.
I wonder how many different people he's stolen that
I-
car. Stolen cars off.
Stolen that car from.
I
He
needed-
sold that.
I don't have
same
the
car
title
12
because
times.
I towed it out of somebody's driveway while they were sleeping.
I needed a motor for my old truck, and I called my buddy at the junkyard, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, I got one. Come check it out." I'm like, all right, whatever. He goes, $600. It looks good. Come get it. I said, it's a motor. I need a motor. Does it work or not? He goes, no, dude, $600. Buy the whole truck. So what do you mean $600? He goes, yeah, these fucking crackheads sold me this truck for $3 for scrap. It's got 100,000 miles on it. It's in perfect condition.
I saw it to you for
But I,
sale.
Did it
but I
still
got
have the
no, I got no
catalytic
paperwork
converter?
on it, right? He goes, you need a motor. Take the motor out of it. Do whatever you want. But for $600, you can have the whole thing. So I looked at it. I was like, all right, cool. Took my VIN number. Took their VIN number. Went to DMV. Said,
Screwed
hey.
it onto the.
All of a sudden, I got a $600 truck with 100,000 miles on it. Hey, how you like me now? Yeah, dog. This guy sold me the truck for nothing.
All completely legal, by the way.
Yes.
So
Just swap the VIN number. You just got to tell the DMV to do it. That's the only catch.
so
I took this truck and made it that truck.
So in your time in Vegas, obviously, like, you know, probably one, if not the biggest, like, year-round tourist destination in the United States, aside from maybe just like seeing New York City or whatever.
Dude, but Philadelphia has only slightly less. Vegas has 44 million or 45 million visitors per year.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia
3 million
has
a
41.
3 million a day.
41 million.
A day.
No,
Yeah,
no,
but
that's what
but
they.
41 million unique visitors.
What our one of our Hoover Dam tour guide told us.
Yes. They also told us they'll pay you $3 a square foot to not plant grass. In your
No, to remove your grass.
And put stone in.
If you
Yeah,
remove
desert
your grass, they'll
landscaping.
pay you
Yep.
$3 a square.
Yep.
foot.
Desert landscape.
That is true. That is
I would do
absolutely
And they don't allow any grass in newly developed housing.
Nope. That's all desert landscaping.
Yep.
I was there. And
Just
they,
to save water.
they were paying people to take out their swimming pools, which is a huge thing. So
That's
for
a huge expense. Yeah.
Do you know how much volume of water there is in the average swimming pool?
It's
I would
like-
say 60,000
I would
gallons.
say it's 6,000 gallons.
No,
Really?
no.
60,
It's
that's what-
60 to 80,000 gallons.
Oh wow,
Really?
wow! I was
In your average 4 foot
Dude,
deep to
dude.
10 foot
Oh, okay. Not like an above ground. Okay.
deep.
well, even an above ground would
It's
be would be
35,
close to
40,000 gallons for a 25 foot above ground pool.
that. Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Holy shit.
So they would pay you by the gallon to get rid of it.
What do they do with the water? Buy it?
No, they put it back in the water supply.
Well, I mean, it is-
instead of water
dump,
lawns,
dump it into
instead
Lake
of-
Mead.
In theory, it is chlorinated. I mean, it can't be that bad.
You're not
Can't be good
using
for the
it on
fish.
the pool.
Right.
Can't
But
be good
yeah,
for the fish,
we tore. I saw so many sod lawns ripped up. I saw so many cactuses go in. I saw so many boulders, rocks, like.
because that's what they have to use because they're not using grass, bushes, that kind of shit.
That water was meant to aid Vegas and to aid Southern California.
Which we learned that the water from the Hoover Dam, that like percentage wise, only like 2% goes to Nevada as a state. Like,
So
yeah,
if,
it was pretty wild how they
Yeah.
did
So
do
if
that.
California kind of got on their own feet and quit turning the taps up all the way, then that water could come back up. So I just saw, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, I saw a thing on Facebook. 1923, something like that. The second and last time that the Hoover Dam ever overflowed because the water was too high
yeah,
happened
What, back in the
100,
30s?
100 years ago.
yeah,
yeah,
or yeah,
And Lake
back
Mead
before
has
the-
dropped since then.
yeah.
We're at the point now we're finding, Al Capone's barrels at the bottom of the thing.
Well, yeah,
You know,
when
like,
we
if
when we
there's
were
boats
there,
that
I
were
took some
sunk that-
I took some pictures of it, and it's like almost 200 feet below
Yeah.
where it was when they built all the structuring there, because they built that structuring so the water would have been 6 feet below where you could look over the edge of it.
The last time
And
I was
now
on
it's
the
like 200
the
feet.
last
below
time I was on the water on Lake Mead, the water stood at 723 feet. Today it stands at 370.
that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's getting to the point
I
where
floated up there 300 feet above where you're sitting today. That was where the water was.
right.
That's
Well,
crazy.
The problem
That's
is we
crazy.
don't have a water shortage the problem is
Is
we
that
will
we have
run
a-
into a point where we have to go to desalinization.
Yes. Which is expensive.
Which
still actively still very
Elon
expensive.
Musk says it's not expensive. I think the problem is finding out how they can make money off of the desalinization process.
And still have it be efficient. Because like
Well,
you see, like
I
the
think it
country-
can be efficient, but I think they need to figure out a way. They're like, okay, people are going to run out of water from natural sources at some point.
You ever set up a tent?
But
You ever see
Yeah.
the condensation that comes up?
oh yeah, yeah.
You know how easy it is to make a condensating fucking
Oh, I've done it.
water purifier?
I've done it on my back porch at my mom's house when I was a kid. I did it with a Glad container, a piece of cellophane, put a rock in the middle of it.
Hey, amazingly enough, and I hate to get all into weird
I did that.
shit
I
here,
did that
but
with some
the Boy
cannabis
Scouts. That stupid little troop with the badges around the corner that your kid wants to get into that you don't let them do. That the Boy Scouts teach you how to make that desalinated water
Oh yeah,
in a pit in the backyard when they're like first year.
right. You do that. You
Now,
put the plastic over it. You put a cup in the middle, so all that condensated water can drip down
Answers
into it.
to the problems
Absolutely.
we have don't have to be overcomplicated. The
I
Boy
agree.
Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the
But-
folks that have been doing it. All right, and I'm not whatever natives, whatever you want to call them, the Indians, the fucking Mohawk, the Iroquois,
Indian
whatever
is
that live
still-
around
is
here.
Native American.
Right, the
Indian
Native Americans,
is still
whatever.
a government use term.
All those guys,
If that matters.
every one
What-
of
what
them
do you call Indians
have it in
From
their.
India?
Yeah.
They have it in their culture how to work with what we have. And I think we rely a little too much on Hey Google and Hey Siri.
Oh, I completely agree.
Go ask Grandma, how do you do this? Go ask Uncle Bob, how do you do that? You'll learn
I
a
hate
lot
my
more
Uncle
from
Bob.
the farmer around the corner than you will from Siri. But what you're talking about was absolutely right. You should be able to get moisture and water out of all this. There's already a trick for that.
Right, right.
There's already a trick for that. Let's not give up on the old school
Yeah,
trick.
no, and
for
I've
a
done
new school trick.
I've done that too as well. I haven't done it with the pit in the ground, but I know the concept. I've done it with other things too.
You know what's doable.
I've done it just to take the moisture out of the things that I put in the container.
Yep.
You can do that with the sun and
Yep.
that was the way that I used it.
So you don't have to push too awful hard to think that maybe I can use this another way.
Right. Oh,
Right.
Well, and no, that was how I figured out to do it this way. I had
Exactly,
seen it. I had seen
exactly.
it done to gather water, so I'm like, this can be done to take the moisture out of anything.
Yep.
So I put the things in there that I wanted to take moisture out of, and I set it up the same exact way.
I'm a big
And-
fan of not reinventing the wheel.
Right. There's no reason to.
So when it comes back to the small town, this is where we live, this is how we do things. We need to get people to see us, to do whatever. Music, art, invention, botany, flowers, art, the agriculture, the plants we grow, the things we do. That's how we get back on track. That's how we make ourselves known again.
I
You know,
completely agree.
we
Yeah.
go back to doing the things that we are good at around here.
And also because one way or another, it will end up to the point where we will have to.
Yeah, we're gonna
Civilizations live and die.
Everybody-
including the Roman civilization, the United States civilization, everything lives and dies, and things will collapse at a certain
Well-
point. And you need to be self-sufficient.
Welcome to 2023, where everything is on the internet. We're being live streamed right now. But what I'm
Basically.
saying is,
The
you
closest
have
thing
to-
to that without actually being live.
you have to push the media with what we really do.
Important things.
So advertising for GemFest, advertising for Kingsbury, agriculture, advertising for the local
Right.
things going
Local
on.
business, loving each
That's-
other and supporting each other.
That's how it begins, because it's the same as it always was. But now we have this bigger microscope, this telescope on us now. So we all have to do what we do.
Right.
Whether we're a farmer, whether we're a musician, whether we're a construction worker, whether we're whatever. But we have to
But you got to contribute in some way.
we have to show that, we have to put into that.
Yeah.
Because we're under a telescope now.
Microscope. You could even
we're
say.
under a microscope. They're all the same.
But the only way to make it work is to have all the microscopes work together, so that we're telescoping together. You work with me. I work with you. The plumber works with the framer.
And like you were,
the painter works with the ground guy.
like you were saying about Glens Falls, I feel like there is a big sense of that, especially in our area. People want to find a local business for whatever problem it is they have to solve, whether it's a plumber, whether it's a contractor, anything like that. People want to look local too.
But that's what's
whether
great.
it's a food supplier, anything.
That's what's great about Hometown USA. We're the last place where you can literally go and get any of those services. You don't have to Uber this and Google that. You can go down your street and you can find
Right, everything's
a flower
tightly
shop,
contained.
a grocer, a restaurant. You
Right.
don't have to
try,
go too
try
far.
finding a hardware store in downtown New York City or in
That's
Manhattan,
what I'm
you know what I
saying.
mean?
We,
Like yes, they have a lot of businesses condensed, but it's I feel like a lot of it is like high level business and then tourist attraction.
I love that we're getting more exposure, but at the same time, like you're saying, where can you find a hardware store? Where can you find?
I know I got one a mile away from my house in Hudson Falls.
Yeah.
But same with Glens Falls. I mean, you can find anything you need within a mile or two.
I got a beautiful place out here. We bought this old monster house. We've got plenty of work to do. Whatever.
But yeah, dude,
It's
we did
25 minutes to the store. And it's 25 minutes back because I forgot a box of screws. It's a fucking hassle to work on this place. On top of, you have to.
Oh, so you're
know-
saying you don't have a hardware store here, right in Glens
Not even.
Falls?
I'm in Kingsbury, bro.
Oh, that's right.
Did you forget where the fuck we were?
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
You did tell me. You did
I'm
tell me
halfway
earlier we were
between
talking
there
about
and
Glens
there.
Falls. I was so in the moment, man.
But
I was there.
But I'm
felt
not that far out. But every project is literally.
So, do you go to the hardware store right by me, CBS,
Burgoyne.
Hannaford? Yeah,
You know,
Burgoyne
I
Hardware.
go there.
Yeah.
They don't have half of what I would need. I have a 200-year-old house, bro. You can't solve them in 20-year-old fix-its in the store.
You got to make your own nails.
But
No,
you're not far off. You're not far off. You're not far off. But yeah, no, it's everything I do is like, all right, get a list, go to the store, get 87% of that list because they don't have the other shit.
Right. Come back and then realize you
back.
can't do what you needed to do with the things that you got.
Yeah.
Go find another.
I get
hardware
just
store.
enough to start, and then I'm like, okay, cool. Now I gotta go 3 more stores to get the
To get that last 13%.
13% to come back and be like, all right, where was I? And
Well, it's tough, and honestly, that hardware store on Burgoyne it's big and it has a lot,
it really does.
but
Everything.
but it just right exactly. It doesn't have.
They have a lot for.
But also,
houses
do
that
you
are
want it
40
to have
years old.
everything?
No, because no.
Like
then it
like
becomes
because
a Home
at that
Depot.
point it becomes
Then
a
it
Lowe's.
becomes a
or
So
it
I'm
becomes
not
a
I'm
Home
not
Depot,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna name names, but there's a plumbing heating store in town
Okay.
that literally has everything. Okay, but they know they have everything. So your
Everything's marked up.
your $4.99 thing over
$7.99
here
now.
is $14.99.
14. Jesus.
I go in there for a simple little motor and it should be $25 and it's $75, $80.
Wow.
But they have it every single time.
I have
you
it
walk
right
in.
then, and you need
Exactly.
it right then. You're not
So
gonna
I
go
can't.
and order it.
I'm not naming names, but they have it.
I can take a guess.
You
but
go
I-
to 4 or 5 other places that'll do their best to order it, whatever, in 3 days, 2 days. But if you want it today, you're paying the price. And I love them because they're there. Depending on the emergency, it's worth it. But it's aggravating. If I can get it in 3 days for $25, why do I got to pay $2,700 for it today?
Yeah, and it's not that way with all local places. I mean, but again, that's the reason why you don't want your hardware store to have 100% of the things that you
That's
want,
exactly it.
because they're going to charge you triple the price.
Specialty places are there for a reason. You go to an electric place to buy electric stuff. You go to a plumbing place to buy plumbing stuff. You go to a lumber place to buy lumber stuff. You go to Home Depot because you have no idea what you're doing and you want to pay too much. But
Right.
I love Home Depot.
You go to Lowe's because you
Atlanta
want
Falcons,
to order a
Home Depot,
delivery
sorry.
of an appliance, and you want them to not be able to hook it up to you, or hook it up for you because they say that they're not qualified to do it.
It's
You
just
know, if they deliver you a gas stove, which they probably can't even do now that the new laws have been passed in New York, but we'll completely skip past that.
No.
If they delivered
We
me
are
a gas
not skipping
stove.
past that, but go ahead.
We can come back to it. I'm fine with that. But I was delivered a gas stove maybe almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah,
And the guy brings it in and he puts it right there and he's like, oh, this is gas stove. He's like, oh, I can't hook that up. I can't. He's like, no, it's too much of a hazard or whatever. He's like, they won't let us hook it up.
Liability.
So I'm like, okay, so I take it. I
As a
screw the hose
contractor,
in.
I understand liability. I kind of get where he's
Right,
coming
but they're
And
like
how did-
one of the biggest. It was
So-
Lowe's.
so how
it
did
was?
you-
It wasn't a local.
He's a delivery guy, not an installer.
No,
guy.
but I'm saying
Yeah.
Lowe's should cover that liability. Lowe's should know that. What if I were an old woman?
If you
What
paid
if I
the
were an
extra
old woman
90
and he delivers
if you-
it? He's like, I can't set that
If
up.
you pay the extra
Oh,
$95, they'll
fuck.
gladly send you somebody to do it.
Yeah. But I think Lowe's was just getting too
It was
fed up
literally
with, like,
screwing in a hose.
Dude, this is the whole
Like-
world. You buy
But-
video
but-
games, right? You buy video games. What's a DLC? Pay for the add-on.
I don't
Pay for
get-
the add-on. Pay for the add-on.
I don't
pay
get
for
it
the
until
add-on.
it's free.
So you buy a fucking stove.
I buy almost
Cool.
all my
we'll
games
sell you
like
the gas
3 years
hookup
after they
too
come
as an
out.
extra. Cool. We'll sell you
But-
the delivery as an extra. Cool. Oh, the hookup? That's an extra.
But
Everything's a
no,
DLC.
that
Everything
guy
is a
said-
DLC.
That guy said he couldn't
Everything
even
is a
do
pay
it.
for it later.
That
Oh,
guy
you want
said
this too? You want lettuce on your salad? That's $1. You want tomatoes
Lettuce
on
on
your
your
salad?
salad is an
That's
extra $1?
You got a cucumber? That's $1.
What are they
You want a
doing
lettuce?
now?
Lettuce
That's
is the
$1.
baseline of a
Like,
fucking
what-
salad.
But that's the world today,
What the fuck
man.
salads are you
I
eating?
thought you just wanted carrots
Everything
and
is
onions,
everything
bro.
is fucking not
Lettuce
carte
on
blanche,
your
fucking
Everything just
a
costs
la
us-
carte, a la carte.
Yeah.
Everything is a
It's
la
all
carte
it's all
today.
downloadable content.
Yes, we can give you the thing, but if you want anything to play
Yeah.
with the thing,
And
then you
if
gotta
you
pay
don't- and if you
$1,
don't
a dollar,
wanna- and
$3, and $1.
And if you don't want to buy,
$5.
and if you don't want to buy the lettuce DLC, you can get the salad
Exactly.
monthly subscription.
Yes.
Dude, I think subscription-based pricing is the future for fucking everything.
No, it's going.
absolutely. Dude, that's why
I buy shit
Xbox
off
Game
on
Pass
Netflix.
is so cheap.
Cool,
Yeah.
great. As soon
That's
as
why
I
you can
click
have
Netflix,
Xbox
you
Gold,
can watch
Xbox
anything.
Live Gold with Game Pass for so cheap.
Yeah.
Microsoft, I would say, almost pioneered the
The subscription.
the
service.
complete level
Oh, yeah.
subscription
Yeah.
service.
So
Just
just so you
hearing
know,
everything.
Ginter
Right.
Electromechanical is offering subscription services starting at the low monthly price of $1,200.
So what
and,
does-
we'll cover every light bulb,
what does-
light
yeah.
switch, and fucking outdoor GFI you have forever.
Okay.
Forever.
What does the tier 2? What is the tier 2 subscription cover?
I'll make sure your breakers don't shut off.
Tier
I will
3.
come there and I will please your wife.
I'll change your cover plates if they break.
Tier 5.
I'll call you once a year and ask you how you're doing.
Okay.
Once a year?
Tier 10. Tier 10.
Who are
Tier
you?
10.
Who are you?
The 10th tier.
Oh. Huh? What?
If someone is
That has to be an in-house electrician. You live in
yeah, I will move in with you.
Dude, I thought tier 3 would have been that.
No, tier 10 is I'm
But
living
tier
in the
10?
guest house and I'm like still not answering the phone. Like, fuck off.
I've-
Tier 10.
All right,
I've-
what's
I've
tier
been
20
waiting
then?
on- I'm
What,
just-
what tier is you
I-
living
I
in the
didn't.
house?
I
will
didn't. I
live
didn't
here.
answer the phone for him. What do you think I'm doing for you?
I will live here until the check cashes.
Well, if you live
Here
in
a
the house
while.
with me, you don't
Here a
have to
while.
answer the phone.
Tier 10.
But yeah, no subscription services. Yeah, that's something future. Hell, Frankie and I, with everything we
one
do,
or something?
we both have an Adobe Creative Cloud subscription service. You just subscribe to this whole like basically online resource of like assets and templates and shit called Envada, which is great. We made our inaugural paper tickets for Wild in the Trees, and they are cool. They're so cool. We have we have counterfeit proofing built in through this subscription service we have with
Holograms?
Envada. Not holograms, but there's
There's thumb technology involved.
there's counterfeit proof methods that I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
But yeah, so okay.
You hand signed every one of them, didn't you?
No. So dude, New York, in a stroke of brilliance,
New York
has outlawed. I don't know if it has officially happened yet or is just in mitigation, but outlawed the new installation of gas stoves in a residential setting.
As I was referencing earlier.
And if
You don't want to get me going on this.
I'm
'Cause
sorry,
it
as an
reverts,
electrician,
it reverts back to all the electric everything, and I'm here to tell you that you can't have electric everything.
some things are
At least not the way things are now.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
And then the newest
I'd love to do it. I
provisos.
wish I could. I'm an electrician. I run the wires. I hook it up. I get paid for it. There's not enough electric to do electric
You
everything.
need fossil fuels for
Sorry.
at least another 20, 30 years.
The newest provisos to that too will
Do the math.
will effectively outlaw the use of coal-fired or wood-fired ovens in a restaurant.
You're not gonna.
So now New York City,
City,
known for the best pizza in the fucking contiguous
I'll cut a
United
bitch.
States,
I'll cut a bitch.
is now going to be using
I'll cut a
fucking
bitch.
toaster ovens to cook.
Don't make me angry. You
Wait,
don't like me when I'm
wait,
angry.
they can't use
Don't make me
wood,
hangry.
like wood-fired ovens?
It has
No more
that
wood.
part hasn't been
no more
enacted
wood, no more
yet.
coal.
Hasn't been enacted yet, but it
That's fucked up.
is a very real possibility that it does get passed.
I have heard this conspiracy theory, and I
How about,
agree we should
is
go to war.
it the same in Chicago?
I don't
No, it's
I don't
only
know.
Because Chicago has wood-fired.
Yeah, but Chicago's got
Wood-fired
shit
pizza.
pizza.
Okay, but
Chicago's
there are
shit
the
pizza.
brand of people that like that style of pizza. That like that. They're like, oh, that Chicago deep dish, that's the best kind. So,
If you
but
go
the
to New
people
York
in
City and
Chicago
you want
that go to
something
those
to eat,
pizza
what are you
places.
getting? What's the first thing you're getting when you go to New York City? You're in there, you're
I
in
mean,
and
I
out,
like
grab
you're-
a
steak.
slice.
I like steak. But.
Okay, you ain't got no time. What are you doing?
grabbing a slice.
Oh yeah,
You're
you're
going to
going to
Bodega, you're
Sbarro
going,
because
right?
it's the one. And you're going to the one Sbarro in New York City, right?
No.
No, because there's
No.
like 11,000, right? I don't even know how many.
No,
there are.
I
But
think
anyway,
I
I went
think
to
any
Times Square in
self-respecting
March,
Sbarro
and
would be
I
anywhere else.
ate pizza at a place that I couldn't tell you the name, and the whole thing was half the size of the room we're in right now. I said pepperoni. They said warm. I said yeah. It took them 3 seconds. They handed me a piping hot piece of pizza that was this freaking big. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
for like $4.
Dude, yeah, they go
Yeah,
hard.
that's New York pizza, dude. Like
Yeah.
you get
They-
New York pizza. Now,
You get-
okay, now we have to do it in a microwave oven. Now we have to do it in a toaster oven. Now we have to. No.
Now we
that's
gotta do it
not-
in a
no.
toaster.
There's no way it can be the
No.
same.
No.
I mean, a
disagree.
microwave is egregious.
Your
but even-
Honor, I object.
like
This
a
is
toast,
not
a
right.
toaster oven is less egregious, but even still, like compared to that wood,
Dude, that's still a war crime.
that like stone oven that they put in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm the electric guy, and I'm telling you that I don't like electric pizza. I want wood fired pizza.
dude,
I
have
don't
you
want
ever had
electric
an
pizza.
easy bake oven pizza? I could
Easy
fucking
bake
destroy
oven.
I
an
refuse
easy
to
bake
answer that
oven.
question. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
God
There may have been things in that pizza I don't want to talk about.
Oh.
I'm just not gonna talk about. You know what I'm saying? I
Had
ain't
a
saying
little
I'm
bit
saying
of a
I'm
fishy
saying.
smell. Is that what
I ain't saying I'm saying I'm saying. So.
damn. Are you having a stroke on television right
you're
now?
on television?
Does anyone else smell burnt
You realize
toast?
this is being uploaded to PBS.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, you know what?
This is
Vermont
education.
Public.
This is for
Yeah.
educational purposes,
Do it.
and this is how you're going to treat me right now.
Educational
No,
and
just
informative.
As long as Mr. Rogers comes on next, talking about the comfy slippers, because I got a whole thing about
Mr.
comfy
Rogers
slippers.
is fucking wholesome.
Mr. Rogers is a wholesome guy. But
So can I do? All right.
Well, you need to do a
I'm
plug
gonna give-
here.
I'm
Why
gonna
don't,
give-
why don't, why don't you do a plug?
Yeah, please.
Plug. I've been
before we-
plugging this Ginter electromechanical thing all night. And
That's Gem for people who don't know
Gem.
letters.
let your project shine with Gem.
Well, that's it. Just
Is
yeah.
that
Nate-
actually
Nate-
what your fucking motto is?
Let your project shine with
Let
Gem.
your project shine with Gem.
Yeah.
And you can, if you need any estimates on anything to do with electric, lighting, electrical, mechanical, perhaps even, you can give
You got problems with your heat. You got problems with your cooling. You got problems with your oil. You got problems with your gas.
wife.
You got
like no.
I gave up working on wives a long time ago. I got one of my own. I can't do it anymore. I retired. But anything, man, anything that goes on inside the walls of your house is the things that I work on.
I think
So-
I think it would be easier to list what you can't do.
Pretty much. I don't do windows. I don't do floors. I don't do carpets. I don't walk dogs. I'm a cat guy. I don't walk dogs.
He will walk your cat.
I will walk your cat. Not your wife's. But
It's actually easier to get a cat on a leash. Huh?
it is not. It is not. Sir, I'm here to tell you.
It's harder to get your wife on a leash than to get your cat on a leash.
Historically speaking,
I tried
feel
to
like
put a
it's easier to
6-month-old
put-
kitten on a leash, and he bit me so hard that I'm still not right.
Dude, yeah, you can't even
It's
call
not
them
good.
kittens anymore, dude. They're
Yeah.
like fucking.
Yeah, I
So-
have monster cats.
Yeah, they look like they're ready. They were like
the
genetically
18-pound
modified.
cat that's sleeping in the corner is the little brother of the little cats outside.
Nice.
So
I'm cat
basically,
guy.
how can people contact you? Like phone number, social media, email, anything like that?
Ginter Electromechanical on Facebook. Nick Ginter on Facebook. I'm all over the place on the web pages with the Gem Fest and the 80K stuff.
And Wild in the Trees.
Wild in Trees. You can get a hold of me at 518-321-7845. And I'm on Route 4 at the old Kingsbury store. So if somebody needs something, I'm probably the guy to help you figure it out.
That's a hell of a sell right there.
I don't solve every problem, but I help you.
He doesn't create anymore.
I help you figure out what you got and help you get to the right answer. You know, sometimes it's not me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm good at things. I'm good at a lot of things.
But you'll look at it and you'll be like, I can do that or I can't do that.
And if I can't, a wise man knows what he doesn't know.
Wiser words have never been spoken.
And if I don't know what to do here, I will put you in touch with somebody that I think can help you, and I will put you in touch with people that.
Right, you're a pretty good place to start at the very.
Yeah.
You can fix most of the problems, but if you can't fix it, you know where people can go to get fixed.
I'm a good evaluator. I'm a good troubleshooter. I'm a good appraiser of what the frig we're looking at. You know, because a lot of times people only call me when it's already gone
you
too
work
crazy.
on e-bikes?
I can light them on fire.
Alright, I have two e-bikes that if
the red
you
wire
didn't light them on fire
together, and it's instant every time.
Yeah, those lithium batteries, they have a habit of that, don't they?
They're great on 4th
Think
of
about
July.
that when you
They're
sleep
great
with your
on
phone
4th
under
of
your
July.
pillow.
Again, electrician.
We've
not
learned
an
something.
e
Get
guy.
it electrical
Not
and
an e guy.
mechanical.
Let your project shine with Gem. I won't burn your house down as long as you don't have an e-bike.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn right. Keep your e-bike in the garage where it belongs.
Even if you have an e-bike, he still will try not
Do
to
not
make your
sleep
house
with
burn.
your e-bike under your pillow.
That is a good rule of thumb, period.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, well, I think before we start saying really dumb things, this is a good spot to cut it off. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 7 of Classless Bastards. And once again, only fair to plug our corporate overlord, your friend and mine, Josh Green, over at Altered Apparel, Customs, and more. You can hit him up at 518-361-3621. It's 518-361-3621 for anything custom you could possibly think of. If you want to put your face on a shirt, a coaster, a poster,
A toaster?
a toaster,
Perhaps.
we'll make it
Lighters.
happen.
He does lighters.
He does lighters
He
too.
did lighters.
I keep meaning to tell him, but I keep forgetting.
Just when you think he can't do something,
He does
he
it.
does.
He does it.
I have coffee cups. I have freaking. He's done everything for me. He's fucking amazing.
Hell yeah. Well, I think we did. I think we did good. This one felt good.
Yeah, we'll put.
We're gonna highly edit
put,
this so that I'm not stupid the whole
We,
thing.
we should put a link to if Josh or Nick have a link to like a website. We should put them in the description.
We could probably do that. We could probably figure that out.
It's possibly possible.
Yeah. All right, let's go home.
518-321-7845. Gem. See ya.
Cut it, bitch.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, drink till they're ready.